Guys, I'm up with my familiar Payne unit here. We're just checking it out for the winter. See where we changed our drain and improved it a few months ago. There's our float switch, new drain pan there. Had to replace our old drain pan, looked like hell. So I'm gonna open it up and take a look at the blower amps, as well as see if the heat strips are running. We're set at auxiliary heat. The disconnect is pulled outside, so no compressor heat will be available. We'll see how she's working. As we can see, we have 20.5 amps. The heat strips are on. There's our interior and the Payne air handler. I have the door blocked off, so it'll give an accurate reading for the blower. So we're going to check the blower amps next. We have 1.1 amps on the blowers, which is just fine. So everything is looking real good up here. The heat strips are working like they should. There's no water in our new drain pan. The blower amps are good. So we can move on to checking the refrigerant pressure, temperature spread, and all that good stuff. I had a probe here and in the center up here. Right now I have one in the center and in the back. We had an 18-degree rise on the heat strips with 5,000 watts of heat strips, roughly puts us roughly between 16 and 17,000 BTUs of heat. Roughly 1.5 tons of heat. Divided by our temperature rise, which was 18, and then dividing out by 1.1, we get our CFM, which was 850, which is right on target for this 2-ton machine running with auxiliary heat. Looking at the inside of the Payne unit now, we have our defrost control board. We did a video on forcing defrost on this particular board, I think. Capacitor for the fan motor, capacitor for the compressor. I had separated those out because I don't think I had the particular capacitor I needed. There was some issue. There's a transformer here. The thermostat wire was damaged at one point, so I needed to actually, to save the wire and not have to run one from the second floor somehow in some god-awful way, I found the wires that were still good in the wire. Use this thermostat, use this transformer to do hot and common from out here, and we've been good to go ever since. Here's our contactor. It's pulled in because we have it set into heat. What we're going to do is we're going to check the capacitors, make sure they're good, then we can start it up. Alright guys, I have the machine up and running. Old shaky, one of the many. Taking amps on the compressor, it'll start to go up as we run. We're at 6.1 amps right now. We'll test the defrost and all that good stuff. Well. One of the capacitors was a little bit low. It's reading just under 7, it's a 7.5. When I took out another one, because I didn't have any of the little AMRAD ones, this one was reading the same thing. So, 2 pieces of shit, I guess. So I'll catch that one the next go around, I guess, when I pick up some more of the little mini turbos. Alright guys, I'm gonna let it run for a minute. We'll see how it ends up here, and we'll go from there. Here's our heat chart. Interesting thing down here that I had never read before. It says, do not use table to adjust refrigerant charge. So it's sort of like a guide, but in heating mode it says that you need to take all the charge out of this unit and put it back in, and then weigh it in to be correct. Interesting. So if we look up here on the 024 at 70 degrees, we go over to the first column. High side's 238, low side 68. We're a little bit hotter than that inside, so our pressure will likely be a little bit higher. By the time we're done, we'll probably be closer to the 80 degree because we're going to warm up inside. So somewhere between probably 250 and 260 and right around 70 psi on the suction would be a normal looking pressure for this temperature outside and temperature inside. We have our Z-manifold gauge reading just over 250, right around 260 or so. So we're right on the money there. And over here we are right on 70, so we look pretty good as far as charge. Looks like it's charged correctly. Running 8 amps on the compressor. We're going to unplug the fan, let it get cold, and then we're going to test defrost. We have unplugged the fan from the defrost relay. As you can see, the suction pressure starts to plummet. We're at 45. It's going to be very cold. The superheat's going to drop on the outdoor coil, which is going to be our evaporator and heating mode. We'll let it run for a few minutes, get nice and cold, and then we'll short out the test pins and put it in a defrost. You see speed up right over here. We'll put the speed up on. Alright guys, we've been running for a few minutes. Our pressure's down to around 35 pounds. Pretty cold on the coil, so I'm going to speed it up, hopefully. It's a rough changeover. So we're going to plug the fan back in, watch it take off, hopefully. Not a good switch over and defrost. It's sounding kind of rough there. Let's see if she comes out of it. Our amps start going up as the head pressure goes up. It would have been melting ice and defrosting the coil as the head pressure goes up. When it gets all defrosted and that sensor gets up into the 50s, it should click back over and go back into heat. And once it does that, I'm gonna call this system good, and we can move on over to the Goodman unit over there, the home warranty people put in about a year ago. A little bit smoother that time coming out of defrost. Probably wouldn't hurt it to have one of those controls on it that shut the compressor off for a few minutes before and after defrost. A nice 114 degrees, almost 82 inside. So about a 30-degree rise on this heat pump. Not too bad. I'm gonna get these probes out, head downstairs, we'll start looking at that Goodman unit next.